Hi, I'm Neethling, and I'm the Marketing Director here at Val de Vie Estate, and we're talking to Henriette Holtzhausen, one of our top Evergreen agents and also a resident, about life here at Val de Vie Evergreen. Okay, so Henriette, you started working with Val de Vie Evergreen when it was really just a concept. You were here from the beginning. You were also one of the first residents that moved in. So tell us just a little bit about your journey with Val de Vie Evergreen. How long have you been part of the team and also a resident?
Well, we started marketing in 2017, literally as a dream, with a lovely site plan, beautiful sketches, and almost selling a dream to every potential purchaser who walked in. I can still remember at our Polo Pavilion, we met over coffee or a tea, and these couples with the dreams of envisaging their next chapter. So that's where it all started. I
mean, the time flies. It feels like just the other day that we did the launch. We started planning, I know, in about 2014. We started planning the whole retirement concept. We started doing the research. So it takes a long time to develop an estate like this, the concept and the community. So we launched in 2017, and then do you remember when the first, because for me that's always a big milestone, when the first people actually move in. You know, you can plan and dream about things and concepts, but the truth really lies when the first people move in. Can you remember when?
Yes, that was the first week in July, and we were of the first 5 couples to move in that week.
And what year was that?
2019.
2019. So
yes.
it took about 2 years.
Yes.
And you were one of the first 5.
Yes.
And you've sold. I think we lost count, but not only were you one of the first also residents, but you've sold by far the majority of these dreams to these couples, to families, because in many respects it's not just a couple that comes in. It's a big move for people. You, more than anybody, I think, understand this big decision that the people take, and in many cases it's a whole family that makes that decision.
True.
So maybe explain to us or share what your experience has been, to guide people through this, making the best decision we think of their lives. But maybe talk a little bit about that. How do you experience that, and how much has it helped you that you also live here and that you're part of the community?
Every couple or individual arrives with an expectation. There might be fears behind the scenes.
What kind of fears would be?
It would be, will I fit into the community? Either moving away from where they were. We have a few residents that farmed, a few residents in big cities, majority the bigger Cape, but definitely a good percentage from the whole of South Africa. Yeah. So you would arrive and have no idea what to expect. We must keep in mind most websites are divine. They all look beautiful. Pictures in these days with social media creates a wonderful desire.
Yeah.
But to arrive here and then being overwhelmed, most visitors are totally overwhelmed. Immediately they want to share with their children or with their parents, either or, who visits first. And yes, the journey then starts. It's almost like your first visit. What do I see? And then have
maybe plant the seed.
Yes, plant the seed, but immediately having maybe an expectation of 2 out of 10, you can actually see within the next hour or from a half an hour to an hour, it jumps to 12 out of 10. And then they're quite overwhelmed. What now? We've found what we want. It ticks all our boxes. And
so when you say overwhelmed, is it are they overwhelmed because this is a big decision, or are they overwhelmed by everything that we have here. Because I've always said my biggest challenge, and it's a great challenge, is how do we condense everything that we offer here, because we really offer so much. So is it a combination of both? Is that it's this big decision plus it takes a while to take it all in, what you're seeing? It's the lifestyle, it's the activities, it's the space, it's the beauty. Is it a combination?
It's a combination, particularly the peace of mind. Although LifeRight is not a financial investment, it's which they then realize it's an investment in your lifestyle, because it actually cancels out all the maintenance and the worry about maintaining a home. However, having part of this puzzle, a community in place, fellow like-minded people, a management system in place, healthcare in place, and then of course the larger Val de Vie where they can branch out. Might they use the facilities or not? But who would not want to branch out and have a coffee on the patio somewhere on the estate, or our own evergreen facilities? Yes. So it's the overwhelmness, or almost a satisfactory. Yes, this ticks my boxes, and what now?
I'm going to focus just a little bit more on the community, because I think, there's obviously perceptions out there, and I had to deal with it with my own personal brand as well. But you hear these stories about Val de Vie, and sometimes it's you can't believe the stories that you hear. But I always tell people that 90% of people that live here come from other places. So we all, and our brand personality that I try to instill is that we're the perfect host. We want to welcome everybody from wherever in the world. We've got people from all walks of life, and the stories about being cliquey and not fitting in, I think that is, when it comes to Val de Vie, it's not true. And there are so many different interest groups on the estate. You've got your golfers, you've got your equestrian people, you've got the walkers. That group just gets bigger and bigger. I see them causing a little bit of traffic now on the estate when they go for their walk. So is that your experience as well, that there's something for everybody, and it's actually a very welcoming community? Indeed.
You might find somebody says, no, I'm not a social person, and then my recommendation would be just take it slowly. You don't need to branch out, you don't need to reach out, as long as you know you can look around and belong to the community. Either participate in all the facilities. There is a program for everybody. Might it be reading in the library, even opening up our cinema room, open up YouTube, listen to your own music concert in our surround sound system, or like our bowls, participate in the bowls. Most residents started playing bowls in Evergreen. It was a social game. Come along and just try and play bowls. Now we have a bowling community. And as you say, the walking community, the bridge community. Casual card play like Canesta or Rummy Cup, just regarding our wonderful management. It's almost like a concierge service, which is also the other overwhelming part. You don't need to manage your own life. You could ask for a facility, housekeeping, garden service. So that is part of the overwhelmness. I actually can enjoy my next chapter. And who would not want to have their next chapter experience it on Val de Vie? It is a quote of ours in our sales team to use your Val de Vie is a luxury wellness estate. It's like a resort, and you would fit into it where you would want to.
Let's talk a little bit about the community and how it's grown from
30 people to 400 and almost
and what
60.
we thought it would be to what it is today, and that from a marketing and sales point of view, I'm beginning to see the end of the path almost, as far as sales are concerned. This is when we started. We thought, we're going to be developing homes here until I need to retire. But there's not that many homes left now. It's of this last phase, we've got I think 15 left. So what is the community like? And you know, people don't have unlimited opportunity. We're going to be sold out before we know it. It's the sales are picking up momentum now.
All walks of life. Who lives in Val de Vie is half Afrikaans, half English, a little bit of UK residents who moved to South Africa many years back, a little bit of German. We have a Swiss couple, a mom and daughter. Every day I talk to a Evergreen resident, I learn another story. Different walks of life. We have the most interesting Evergreen residents, and it's now almost 460 residents from started at about 30. And yes, I agree with you. However, the peace of mind at the moment is there would be something available. Should you knock on your door, on our door, Val de Vie Evergreen has an option for you. Might it be one of our suites? At the moment, you could walk into 5 or 6 suites or 6 or 7 homes and choose one. And the other advantage of our Evergreen portfolios, you could move in immediately. You could almost have immediate occupation.
Yeah.
So that also gives you the peace of mind and the overwhelmness. Oh my, I don't need to go on a waiting list, for instance. Availability is there.
Yeah, I think that I remember in the early days, before we had completed homes that were ready to move in, the stress of timing your move and selling and not having to rent somewhere else and move again, because moving is one of the most stressful life events. So you want to minimize that stress. And the fact that we have completed homes and apartments ready for you to move, so whenever your house sells or you rent it out, that you can move in, I think that's also a big help.
Indeed. And moving into a home where you actually just need to settle your furniture, bring in your belongings, your personals, and enjoy. Your home is landscape garden, you've got your irrigation, your air conditioning, it's double glazed. You have a wonderful, well, we call it our luxury inverters. So what would you like more or want more? You wish for that peace of mind, just to move and enjoy your next chapter.
So the peace of mind is obviously, there's a financial peace of mind. Let's talk a little bit about security, which in South Africa it's one of our obviously big concerns. Talk about the physical peace of mind and how that impacts your life.
Thank you for the statistics of Val de Vie. We are the safest estate in Africa. And what does that mean? That means you cannot visit the estate without an access code or biometric access. The finer detail regarding the security is available should somebody need to know. So that in our larger South Africa is a huge sense of security. Thank you. Most residents use this wording. We don't even lock our doors. It could be sensible, it could not be sensible, but that's the security sense. You close your door, you go for a walk, go and see your fellow residents, and that is supreme security. And also, this comes back to the family. Children are extremely happy when they see their parents being excited about Evergreen. Sometimes I get the kids asking me around the corner, please let our parents live like this. We particularly don't want to inherit. That's something I hear often. Let them use their funds, which they worked hard for.
Absolutely.
Being a life right. They are more interested in their parents.
I think for the children, also their peace of mind, because in today's world, families are really scattered all over the world, and if you are living overseas and your parents decide to stay in South Africa, what better place that you can have your peace of mind as well, that they are being taken care of, and for the viewers, that peace of mind is just you have to almost be here to understand it. Is that when you are sleeping at night and you hear a noise, you just turn around and you go back to sleep. That's because true. There's just you just have complete trust in the system, and we've never had an incident here that anybody breached our security. So it's just a few teenagers every now and then during school holidays that caused just a bit of katakwat. But that peace of mind, and you can spend the energy that people, and I've been there. I used to live in Pretoria, broke into my house many times. The mental energy that you spend on securing yourself and worrying and security systems, you can now apply that into other things in your life, which just frees you up, and it really is priceless.
We probably don't have a resident in Evergreen who hasn't got children or grandchildren around the globe. And they can, particularly when your small window of travel ends at a day, and they love visiting their children abroad. They lock up their home, have a fabulous housekeeping service to look after, or phone ahead, and we arriving home in 2 weeks' time. Would you cut the lawn? You can even have food delivered at your door in our bistro. So yes, use your time in this chapter to travel and visit your children around the world in the security sense. Yes,
it's an exciting time now for Evergreen, in the sense that the clubhouse is nearing completion. We have a clubhouse at the moment that was constructed, I think, 2020 to 2021.
Yes, we've been having that for 4 years.
Building a brand new one.
Looking forward to that.
And our medical facilities, so the medical center has just moved into one of the apartment suite blocks. Talk a little bit about all the medical facilities and
we're very proud of our healthcare, right? Might you do a blood pressure, or you have a wound dressing, you have a sister, we have a 24/7 emergency assist, which is in part of your levy. So but just walking down the road, in my particular personal experience, both Wynand and I had a health scare, and one of the first things our children said, thank goodness you are where you are, because you can call for assistance whenever you need. So our healthcare obviously is a very private affair. We know of residents needing more healthcare and assistance than others, but you could make use of our healthcare per hour or per few hours or per week, or customize a package. Should somebody want to have a personal talk with healthcare, we do arrange that, which is recommendable, to discuss either parents' needs or your own needs. And it is available either in your home. The Evergreen model is a home-based care.
Yeah.
So preferably, most residents who arrive would prefer having home care in their home for as long as possible. And that is what the model stands for, with additional health care should you need that, and if you cannot be cared in your home anymore. So that's the other huge peace of mind. The health care is nearby.
And then there's the specialist, which...
The Mediclinic consulting rooms.
Which I've used as well.
Yes.
I've gone there, which is great for just for the general estate, that you don't have to go into town, you can literally walk there. The specialists come a few times a week, and then we've got our dedicated ambulance service on the estate as well. That's been
huge asset,
a very big asset, and it's incredible. We worked on it for a few years, and as soon as we got it, it's been quite busy, so it's been a real blessing.
And that's the part of the overwhelmness. It ticks all the boxes. I often get the question, is Val de Vie not too smart for us? Val de Vie is always neat. It's clean, it's well managed. We have a wonderful management team. So when you arrive, you don't actually see litter. You see neatness, you see people move around, either walking, might it be wind or hail. Somebody's outside taking a dog for a stroll, or themselves, and branching out on the other facilities. Using our estate's amenities is also so handy. You can walk and have a coffee. You can go, if you're a wine lover, you run out of wine on a Sunday morning, you just go down to the village deli. Or you go to the backs Polo Pavilion and have a breakfast. So, or our own Evergreen facility, which has a superb menu of small snacks or lunch. So you don't need particularly to leave the estate.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely one of those people that
Likewise.
that don't leave very often. I'll leave sometimes and I'll be like, wow, this is a new building. We've also got a pharmacy on the estate. I think Henny, again, is also part of we've also got a pharmacy on the estate. I think Henny, again, is also part of the community, and I keep talking about community because I think it is such a big part of the wellness concept is community. I feel like as developer we work really hard to create a community, and the people that thrive in this community really invest back into it. It's not a forced thing, but I think if you give, the community will give back, and we're very thankful for Henny for opening up the pharmacy, because I think that was the last piece of the puzzle. Now we tick all the boxes. We've even got now a pet store on the estate as well. So if you've got cats or dogs, you
walk down the road.
Yeah.
By even our other than the Evergreen facilities applicable to Evergreen residents, doctors' practices, dentists, physiotherapists.
Like a small town.
Even Hertz rent a car.
Yeah.
It's very convenient.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about just the levies and how that works, and kind of that the financial model.
So levies are based on either single residency or a couple. So currently the levy for a suite, an apartment, is 3,000. Should you be a extra person, couple or a life partner, it would be 575 extra. And in a home, 1,000 rand more. So your base levy for a single person is 4,000 plus 575.
And that's all inclusive. That gives you access throughout the estate to all the facilities,
yes,
except the golf club and the polo club.
Yes.
But the gyms and all the facilities
all
included.
Facilities. It is also another astonishing factor where people ask me, are you serious? This can't be that Val de Vie's levies is at this price range. So yes, you wouldn't have a separate gym membership now. You don't need particularly a huge gym in the age group of the plus 60s in Evergreen. However, there's a selection of bicycles, yoga, Pilates studios, your treadmills, swimming pools, indoor, outdoor. So that makes a huge difference as well. And then the model of the life right would be a capital return. Yeah. Once the life right have terminated.
And the levy, because it's an important factor, the increase of the levy, is it CPI?
More or less, yes.
Yeah.
So our levy, we fall under the Retirement Act. So levies need to be disclosed 2 years in advance. So you do see your levy. This particular year, this financial year, our levies did not increase. Yeah. So we do believe Evergreen would appreciate the fact that they don't need to or want to raise the levies annually with CPI. Yeah. That is a surprise factor. Normally they over-deliver.
And I think that's partly because I think the Evergreen retirement model is backed by companies like PSG Alpha, Amdec, Evergreen, and then Val de Vie. You've got that security. It's not a standalone, estate with a developer that might get into trouble. You hear, and it goes back to, I think my first question is, what are the fears? And I think you hear about so many stories about people that make this big decision, maybe invest in a development that is not as established and don't have the financial partners and backing, maybe have to be liquidated, and they sit with...
And promising of buildings will be erected, so that is not the case.
That's
we
not
have
the case.
Everything. And keep in mind with Life Right, you don't have a special levy. because the other financial peace of mind is your home is being cared for.
Yeah.
The structure belongs to Evergreen, so you would maintain your inside of your home. The building structure is maintained by Evergreen. So you don't have that additional cost, which we all are used to, of maintaining a large home.
What are some of the things that you look forward to in the near and medium term, as a resident and as somebody that have sold most of these dreams to people that live here?
Right, looking forward to seeing our residents even getting wellness better. Since I meet a couple moving in, the fear moving, as you say, it's stressful. Within a few weeks, even months, you can see it's a different person. So I'm actually looking forward to see our community almost getting younger, in the sense that they do grow older, but they get wellness younger. Because of the community, we have a fantastic social committee, listening to the needs of the residents. Might it be a new reading group? Might it be a spiritual group? Might it be setting aside time to listen to somebody? Sewing and needle and men's group. You know, our men are normally a couple or a individual moving in might have been reclusive where they came from. So all of a sudden they see like-minded people, and our men aren't always the gatherers, the women are the gatherers. So I've seen, and I'm looking forward to see our men even gathering more. They do have men's breakfasts, little cycling groups. They have a Grand Prix group. They have a rugby group, phoning each other and say, let's go to the clubhouse and view. So that is what I'm looking forward to see our community, although we all are growing older together, but how are we going to support each other? Because there's an immense support within residents. Asking, please, I need help. Where do I get this? I need a lift there. Yes, that is where the community reaches out to each other. We have made personally, and I know many residents have shared that, one of the best friends that you've ever made in your whole life. So because you're like-minded and we all growing in the same direction. And then looking forward to our facilities, having a little private patio in the larger clubhouse, which we have currently. Just your private meeting rooms where children can gather and visit. As you know, it's very welcome. Children are welcome in our Evergreen village. So often you would see grandchildren staying over, and we have a facility where families can also stay over for a day or two and rent a facility in Evergreen. So yes, seeing more children visiting their parents. Even more than in the beginning, you would see children relocating because of their children living here, or vice versa. So that is where I look forward to see our community grow.
For me, it's inspiring to see the Evergreen residents. I think I've seen a few of these, new residents that when they move here, it's inspiring for me to see them taking, I'd say, to take a chance, and I know it can be intimidating sometimes, but to go and see a trainer in the gym, maybe to fix their injuries that they had, old injuries, and now they've got the time, and to see these people get stronger and their confidence increases, and I know that's how I want to age, when I'm older. So and there's a few couples that for me and my wife, it's such a beautiful example that we want to also age like that and work out together and train together, and so I watch from the side. I meet a few of the Evergreen residents, and it's always so interesting to hear their stories, because incredible wisdom, that if I just have 5 minutes of my evening or day, I can learn so much from them. So that's what I'm looking forward is to see those stories and to see these people come and flourish in this next chapter in their lives. And then just briefly on the clubhouse, I think it's going to be the term, world class is used quite widely sometimes, but I really feel like what we are planning is going to be something world class. There's a lot of thought that have gone into it. Evergreen have got lots of experience on what need to be looked after, but I think we want to put a Val de Vie touch on it. So I'm excited about that. The bowling greens, I think this Val de Vie Bowling Club is going to be one of the biggest in the country. So those are the things that I look forward to. I would also just want to mention, there are so many volunteering opportunities as well. We didn't even talk about the Wellness Farm,
yes,
which is an amazing facility that we have here on the estate where people can go and pick their own vegetables. They can get involved there, and then obviously the Val de Vie Foundation and their own programs within Evergreen, and the Christmas market where they raise funds for charity. So there's a lot of opportunity to make a difference, and we need that, and we encourage people to come and volunteer and to give something back and see the joy of supporting other communities as well.
And they have the time to pay forward now.
Henriette, anything else that you want to mention?
It's a privilege to market Evergreen, but also being a resident and seeing the estate develop after all these years. I have to take my hat off to our developers having this wonderful vision. As far as I know, it was an idea from the beginning, to obviously Martin's initial idea to start an estate for a whole family. And we have, I think, two or three, four generations on the estate, a few three, and definitely quite a few second generations. And that's beautiful to see. The great-grandmother, the grandmother, and the children and the grandchildren gathering together. So that makes my heart warm.
Yeah, I think
it's a privilege.
It really is a multi-generational estate. And I think the most important thing that we haven't mentioned is that Evergreen is literally in the heart of the estate. It's not in a corner somewhere hidden. It's right in the middle, and you've got access to everything and a thriving community. So
that's the other wow factor, where you don't feel when we have new visitors, potential purchasers, you can immediately see they don't feel like driving into a retirement village. The sun shines on all our retirement villages in the country. However, here you drive into a village where you feel you're part of the estate. It looks exactly the same, you just rescaled a little bit, and that's your next chapter.
For me,
make it less.
For me, when I hear people say that they're not ready for a retirement village, they just don't get it. Because as soon as I get to that age, I know where I'm going, because I mean that lifestyle is exactly what I want.
It is a less is more. South Africans are used to a lot of belongings. That's one of the biggest questions I get. What do I do? And if I may use the word stuff, what do I do with my stuff? But eventually you do scale yourself down to a more minimalistic life, because you actually deserve to have a more minimalistic life. But of course we all have a belonging we'd like to bring along, and there's space in our homes. You will make, I'm sure, and I've seen residents with relocating from large homes to our wonderful, smaller, if you may say it, homes in your own means. You will make it, they will make it work. And you're quite right, relocating all the way, and then your statement of we are the best resort-like facility in the world. Yeah,
it's definitely not. I think Val de Vie Evergreen is not your typical, retirement village.
Definitely
it's very active on the social front, on the community front, and then on the physical front as well. I mean, we've had some of our residents do incredible physical feats, and they go ride the Argus and swim Robben Island and do crazy stuff. So it's I think your social calendars is maybe the most packed of any resident. So it's
quite true.
Very, very
Sometimes
active.
children say, I can't get hold of my
Exactly.
parents. Do you know, I had a call recently of a couple very worried about their mom. Henriette, can you help? We can't find our mom. And she said, I'm having a social time, children. Leave me alone a little bit. You can't find your parents. They are active. They have new friends. They gather around, yes.
I think on that note, we can end it. Thank you.
Welcome.